Texas. They say everything's bigger here, and they're right. We've got big cars, big hearts, and even bigger steaks. This is beef country, Texas, home to the Alamo, the Cowboys, and the largest military installation known to man. So big, it has a big name. Fort Hood, the great place. It's got a Texas-sized podcast as well. And this is it, right here, Fort Hood's great big podcast. Yeehaw.
Wearing a Stetson.
You're on the phone. You're such a millennial.
Yeah.
Sitting here on the podcast on the phone.
And that's why this guy's shaking the newspaper.
We're going to find out what happens when you put a baby boomer, a Gen Xer, and a millennial all in the same room together.
Nice. Wait, which one am I?
You're the millennial.
Duh.
It's like that's
Sandwich.
So
it is the way it's.
Oh, no, it is.
We're not recording yet. Thank you, Jesus.
No, we are.
Oh.
And we are on the air.
Oh, boy.
Awkward. And we are off the air.
And we're canceled.
So here we are. Finally, at last. It's been a long road to get to here, but Fort Hood's great big podcast exists.
Wow.
I'm ready.
Yeah. And the first thing I want to do in here is introduce everybody because nobody knows who we are.
They can't see me.
Three schmoes talking into a microphone. So, everybody, I am Charlie Mabe. I am with Fort Hood Public Affairs. To my right is...
Hello, I am Specialist Brianna Dew, and I'm currently stationed with the 1st Cavalry Division Band.
That didn't sound awkward at all. And to my left
is Dave Larson, the Command Information Officer for Fort Hood Public Affairs.
He keeps us straight.
Sort of.
Don't think about that too much.
Straight and narrow.
Straight and narrow, absolutely. So I got to give a shout out here right at the top of the show to everybody, to the great Will Courtney, who believed in us so much that he allowed us to use his music. That was his music at the top of the show coming in from the album Crazy Love. He is a huge supporter of the military. In this show, you'll also hear music from the Hubcats.
The Hubcats.
The Hubcats
Yes.
From Florida.
Tell them who the Hubcats are.
That's
Charlie.
my
Come
dad. That's my dad's jug band. All right, it's not his band. He is a member of the band. They are all equals. And Justin Stokes, who is a former almost colleague of mine.
Almost.
Yeah, he was an AFNer, as they say.
Oh.
He worked at
American
AFN.
Forces Network.
Mm-hmm. And so he's thrown his hat into the ring with us as well. Thank you so much, Justin. We hope you enjoy all the music for the show. We're trying to bring you something a little different, not your canned music or not. I don't want to make you mad, Brianna, your army band marching stuff.
Oh.
But, something a little more modern.
Yes.
Something that the kiddies like,
Hey, I like variety too.
Right, yeah. Big variety. And speaking of big variety, today is a big day, which has nothing to do with variety, but it has the word big in it. Today's a big day because not only is it the day that the podcast debuts, the 19th.
Woohoo.
But what other day? What is happening today? Biggest day of the year because
The Cab Band Christmas concert?
no.
Oh, okay.
But what?
Well, we're having Christmas with the Cav on the 19th of December.
That's today.
Yes, at 7 o'clock at Grace Christian Center, Killeen.
Really? That sounds exciting. Tell me more.
Well, it's going to have a bunch of special guests, all sorts of soldiers around Fort Hood, lots of different vocalists.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be there also, so you don't want to miss that on my piccolo. And
How will they be able to identify you if someone wants to stalk you?
well, my name tag, I'll have my name tag on.
All right.
So,
Very
yeah.
good. So what's that name tag again? Smith? Smith?
Yes, exactly. And then on the 20th, the very next day,
Mm-hmm.
also again at 7 o'clock, we'll be performing again at Lay Ledger Auditorium in Coppers Cove High School. And it's free and open to the public, both concerts.
That's cool. About how long are the concerts?
This set should be about an hour and a half, I believe.
That's a lot of playing.
Yeah, there should be an intermission.
I got a question. As a flute player, because Brianna is a flautist.
Yes.
As a flute player, what are your lips like after blowing on that thing for an hour and a half?
Well, they're pretty strong, so I honestly, mentally, I'm more tired than physically.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is that like when you start out playing flute, your lips aren't strong, and then like you do lip exercises? Is there lip? How's
There
that
are
work?
exercises. It's more.
Can you do a lip exercise for us right now?
It's more like your jaw than just your lips. It's like the whole lower half of your face that you work out. But honestly, the hardest part when you start out is breathing in the air. You get everybody that I know that starts out will get they get lightheaded and winded and dizzy, and I've never seen anyone pass out, but that's the hardest part, is having enough lung strength to continuously blow a consistent stream of air to produce sound.
Cool. Well, we appreciate your lung strength here on the podcast. We really do. But,
yes.
that wasn't what I was talking about.
Oh,
the
really?
19th. No, today is the day that the new Star Wars movie comes out.
Oh, yay.
We are opening against Star Wars. That's how much confidence we have in this podcast. We're going up against Luke Skywalker. And the new Star Wars movie.
Thought he was dead.
It's Star Wars. Obi-Wan died, and
They
then he
come
came back, and I'm a little nervous that, not that I'm not confident in this highly skilled, entertaining podcast, but I'm a little worried that people are going to go see the movie and forget about us. So, for those that want to see the film, so those who have plans to see it, I present to you my prediction of what will happen in the movie so you don't have to go see it.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh, can't wait. Let's go.
All right, so like it's a period of civil war or strife or something, because in Star Wars films, they can't start with the words, things are going great. So there's this pan from space to something like a big ship, or maybe it's not even space, but we're supposed to think it's space, the old bait and switch. Anyway, there's a pan, and then there's fighting and stuff, and at some point there's a planet, and Rey's training. Hello, I'm Rey, and I'm training. And eventually she meets up with Poe and Finn and everybody, and something happens, and look, it's Lando. And Lando's shocked to find, what do you mean I'm not the only black character anymore? There were more of us the whole time? I don't know why he sounds Jewish, but maybe he's converted.
You don't even sound like any of them.
And then there's a fight between Kylo Ren and Rey, but it doesn't last long because it's just, one of those teaser fights. I'll get you this time, Emo! Not if I have anything to say about it very soon! Then suddenly, who should appear but Han Solo? You thought I was dead, but I wasn't. I'm also somehow Jewish. And there was a tearful reunion with Leia. I'm dead in real life, but not in this movie. And then it looks like C-3PO's gonna die, only he don't. I just want one last look at my good friend. But then the Emperor shows up, and he's all like, you fools, this was my plan the whole time. I made the last movie suck just to mess with you. Now we have the real fight between Kylo Ren and Rey, only Rey beats him, and now he's good. So then she turns towards the Emperor, only to discover he's now reached his final evolution and is Robo-Emperor. So now there's a big fight between Kylo, Rey, and Robo Palpatine, and Kylo dies doing something, I guess, heroic probably. Emo! Things are looking bad for Rey, but then all of a sudden, these Force ghosts show up to help her. There's Force Ghost Luke, there's Force Ghost Yoda. Baby Yoda, I am not, but still cute I am. Obi-Wan Kenobi's there, and even the I Hate Sand version of Anakin. They band together and finally kill the Emperor, and then BAM! Force ghosts become real people again. It's a hidden Force power we didn't know about. Luke is alive. Yoda's stealing people's Chico sticks. It's a Force Ghost Fest. There's hugs. It's a happy ending. And scene.
And then they're never going to make another one, right?
Well, you know, the weird thing is they said they're going to wait because they're worried about Star Wars fatigue. So it's going to be like 6 years or something until they feel like they can make money off that again. The good news is you don't have to wait 6 years for another podcast.
True.
Because we are weekly.
Yes.
Well, not
Well,
yet.
Take
We're
that,
not
Warner
yet. No, that's a
Brothers.
lie.
Oh.
Warner Brothers?
Isn't that who owns it?
It's Disney.
Oh, it's Disney. That's right.
So-
all these corporations, they mix together.
And Wisney.
Disney, huh?
That's when you mix them together. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, really.
The podcast is weekly, but as you said, Dave, it is not weekly as of yet because this is kind of like an early Christmas present.
Yeah,
Hanukkah present.
You're
Something.
welcome, everybody.
Merry Kwanzaa, everyone.
absolutely.
And we'll be back on the 9th.
January 9th.
Yep. We're going to give everybody a break from this, which you'll need, and then we'll jump back into it on the 9th. So there's a lot happening, though, between now and the 9th. Dave, do you have any ideas of what might possibly be happening between the 19th?
Let's pick up a copy of this week's Fort Hood Sentinel.
Fort Hood Sentinel?
Ooh.
What is that?
Wow. Well, that's what old people do. They read newspapers.
Can't relate.
Yeah.
The Better Opportunities for Single Soldiers has lots going on over the holidays. Did you know that?
I did not.
Well, let's see. They're hosting a holiday toy giveaway for single parents.
Really? That's cool. That's really
December
nice.
20th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And they've been having an ongoing toy drive, and it's been really cool. But want to find out more? Call Boss 287. That's 254-287-6116.
You know, it's a tough time of year, and if they're having a hard time making ends meet or something, Boss got your back.
Yeah, they do.
Mhm.
They're also doing the same vein.
All right.
No Single Soldier Left Behind
Mm-hmm.
movie luncheon on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Aw.
11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Boss headquarters.
You know the movie?
It does not say.
Mystery movie.
Ooh.
Awesome.
You know
Well,
what?
I'm betting it's a Christmas movie.
It probably
Yeah.
maybe like A Christmas Story or something.
And
I like that
Probably.
movie.
hey, pool tournament, table tennis, food, holiday candy, and drinks. So,
That's great.
yeah.
Cool.
And door prizes. MWR is helping out with that.
I would love to win a door.
Yeah. A big red one, right?
Mm-hmm. My dad had a big red door growing up.
Okay.
And moving on.
Is that available only to single soldiers?
No,
or
anyone could go through
anyone
the
can
door.
Go? Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Your dad's big red door?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're moving on, I thought.
And don't think about that too much. Okay, moving on.
All right. Whole MWR thing, last one. Well, rule of threes, I guess.
All right.
Bowl in the new year,
Oh, that is cool.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The Phantom Warrior Lanes. December 31st starts at 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you bowl, and, next morning they feed you and all kinds of other stuff. But want to find out more? It's fun if you're into bowling.
Hey, who's not into bowling?
254-287-3424. That's the Phantom Warrior Lanes, and bowl in the new year.
Bowl that new year in.
Woo, 2020.
How's that for
Let's bring
community
it.
events?
That's really exciting.
Yeah,
I
isn't
am
it?
excited.
You should be.
I am. Are all of you excited, listeners? Hold on. Let's wait and find out. Oh, I hear how excited you are.
Where's the cricket sound effect, Charlie?
That is not it.
Try again.
I will. There
Thank
we
you.
go.
No.
These are not only our excited listeners, our listeners as a whole.
All right, moving on.
All right, moving on. Well, we got a great podcast for everyone today. We've got a very special guest coming up. And then we've got the chaplains. Some
Gotta stay tuned
chaplains. Yep. And you know what? If you think you know Army chaplains, you don't know
Yes,
Army
again.
chaplains. Yeah, this is a very unique interview. And I think it will delight you. So we'll be back with the rest of the podcast right after this. Stay tuned.
Oh no!
This is terrible, Chief.
I know. He was such a fat, jolly old elf. If only he had been wearing his seatbelt. Those eyes won't be twinkling anymore, Lou.
Probably thought it saved him time while he hopped in and out of his sleigh.
Well, it might have saved him time, but it cost him his life. What are we going to tell the kids, Lou? What are we going to tell the kids?
Tragic events like this don't have to happen. Studies show that wearing a seatbelt reduces serious crash-related injuries and deaths by half. Buckle up. It's not just smart, it's the law.
Ho, ho, ho! I'm okay, thanks to Christmas magic. Oh, what's this?
A ticket.
Oh.
Hi, my name is Sergeant Zane Scheito. I'm stationed in Wiesbaden, Germany. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I just wanted to say happy holidays and happy New Year's.
Hi, I'm A1C Vega over here in Afghanistan. I want to say hi to my mom and family back in El Paso, Texas, and Merry Christmas.
Hola, me llamo Ana Martínez y estoy estacionada aquí en San Antonio, Texas. Les quiero decir a mi familia y a las personas que amo ahí que ojalá tengan un buen festejo y a todos los demás los quiero tanto.
Fort Hood's great big podcast. Duh.
Well, here we are. First segment. I'm all alone. No Dave. No Brianna. Just me. Gotta say, without those two, not a lot of energy in this room. Kind of lonely. Well, not really, because I'm not really alone. But, I mean, you're with me. And you're with me. Nope, I'm not feeling the energy. I need 9 more cups of coffee. That's what I need. Oh, this chair is not. Okay. Low energy. Low energy. I got to tell you, folks, I'm feeling low energy, but that's not going to last very long. Because we have our very first guest here on the podcast. A man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. Mr. Charles Martinet. Now, you may not know the name, but you definitely know the voices.
I'm a little bit afraid of ghosts. A tiny bit. I am terrified of ghosts and shadows and things that go in the night.
That was Luigi from the Super Mario Brothers and Luigi's Mansion series of Nintendo games. Maybe you've heard of them. Mr. Martinet also voices the villainous Wario, the criminally underappreciated Waruigi, and of course,
It's a me, Super Mario. Woohoo!
that's my main man, Super Mario.
Woohoo!
That is absolutely fantastic. You know, what I like is that you do the motions when you do the voices.
Somehow I don't have Italian in me, but I cannot speak without moving my hands.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Hello to all my friends in Fort Hood. It's a me, Super Mario. Woohoo! Mamma mia! You guys, you number one. Ha ha! Oh yeah, number one. Ha ha! Way to say it, bro. Thank you very much, Mario.
See, you don't expect to tune into a military podcast and end up with Mario, the very famous real Mario.
It's pretty amazing. I got to tell you, I'm so grateful to be here at Fort Hood. You know, this is a tremendous honor for me, and to meet our troops and say hi, and it's a great thrill.
Now, how long have you been voice acting?
Well, that's a very good question. I'm not really sure. I was a theater actor. Then I was doing corporate videos when a friend of mine said, "Hey, come and audition for a corporate video." And I said, "What's a corporate video?" "It's a video that's corporate." "What do I do?" "Act." "Okay." So I started doing that, and one day I was doing a commercial in which I was the American Gothic painting half of it, or the guy with the pitchfork, and we shot this commercial, and the producer said, "Oh, great, do you do voiceover?" And I said, "Sure." And he goes, "Okay, here's the script." And I said, "Orchard Supply Hardware, the right item at the right price, right now. Here's another $250. I'm a voice actor. Yippee!" You know, that's how that started. I've just been lucky. It's just been one thing to another for my whole 44-year career.
We have a mic arm that has fallen in love with Charles here.
This mic arm just likes me. That's all. It's the greatest.
It keeps creeping up on him. It's absolutely lovely. And I have to say, Charles, my name is, do you like to be called Charles or Charlie?
Charles is perfect for me.
I'm Charlie.
Are you really? Hi,
Yes,
Charlie.
it's Charlie and Charles. The Charlie and Charles Show.
Super Charlie.
That's right. Super Charlie-o right here. But looking at your IMDb page, it went back to 86. So is that about when you started, 85, 86 time, or?
When did I start? I started theater acting in 1976, I think, 74. I went to school at the Drama Studio of London in England, and you know, I auditioned for Berkeley Repertory Theater, and they took me, and I started working there. Then went to school, then came back to America, worked in the theater for 10 years, and then I thought, I'm going to try my life as an entrepreneur, and I went into the entrepreneurship, and I realized I quit. I'm not going to be an entrepreneur. And that's when my friend called and said, "Hey, come and audition for a corporate video." And I had no idea even what it was. I am the luckiest guy in the world. I live a life of absolute privilege and joy. I do what I love to do. I work with people I love working with, and I travel the world meeting people that are touched by the work that I do. And it's really what I wish for everybody, to find your joy, your passion, what you love in life, and what makes you happy and brings you happiness, so that your happiness can just spread out, you know, like the ripples on the shore to the shore for everyone. Because it's very rare that anybody gets to do what they really love to do in life. And it's even more rare that you find the impact that you have on people. And I've been doing this now for 28 years, the Mario voice, and people come up to me and, with stories of joy, you're the voice of my childhood, and stories of, some sadness. I lost my sister, and, but I remember that we played this game, and it brought me joy, and that brings me back to my childhood and keeps her alive, and just things that just make me, I'm very quick to tears. So I've been touched and moved very much, and I'm just so lucky. But I wish that for everybody, that you find that joy, find that passion. One thing I've learned is life is short. I'm quite tall, but life is short. And if you're not having a great time, you don't miss it. It's such a beautiful thing.
Super Mario Brothers, before you were involved, was my first real game that I had to have. And Mario didn't have a voice at that time. None of the characters really did. There were some commercials. Then the Super Mario Brothers Super Show came out, which had the Brooklyn accent, sort of hard-nosed plumber.
Yeah, Lou Albano, I think his name was. He's a terrific guy.
And then you came along, and IMDb says your first appearance as Mario was in Mario Teaches Typing.
Yes, I believe so, 1995.
My first experience with you playing Mario was in Mario 64.
Yes.
That was a watershed game. People don't understand now what kind of watershed game that was. Back then, it had released in Japan before being released in America. And there was a small video game shop called Games to Go. I was in Minneapolis at the time. And they imported overnight Nintendo 64 machines and Mario 64 to show off to a select group of people. And I was one of their best customers. I blew a lot of money there. So they had me come in, and it was a special party. They locked the doors, and then eventually they brought out the machine and Mario. And playing that for the first time, not only was it 3D, but the voice, the wahoo,
Wahoo!
that I showed up with my rent money in my pocket.
Oh
that
my
day.
goodness! Wow.
I ended up paying $700 for a Nintendo 64 machine and a copy of Mario 64 because I fell in love with it so much. And part of it was your voice acting.
Thank you.
That took the character and made it three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Suddenly, it added it needed that. You didn't even know it needed it before it got that, and it's touched so many people. It's part of our culture, and that is so amazing that it's transcended that. But you've done so many more things. You were in Super Punch-Out.
Yes, I did. I think 14 characters in this corner. Yeah.
Yeah, you were in Solar Eclipse, where that was a 3DO game. There's a one 3DO fan out there going, woohoo,
Yeah.
3DO, yay, who mentioned it? You were in a Carmen Sandiego game.
Yes.
Which is huge,
Von Beethoven, I think. Yes.
And Jet Set Radio Future.
Yes, I was somebody manly in that one.
Ratchet and Clank Future.
Oh, yes, that was based on a dear friend of mine, Sydney.
Really?
Yeah.
And the coolest thing of all, and I just discovered this today, you've been in Star Wars games.
Yes, I did 14 voices in a couple of Star Wars games back in the beginning when they were just beginning to put out the games out of Lucas Skywalker Ranch, and LucasArts was just beginning to burgeon forward, and did a few games there. That was a lot of fun.
You played Admiral Holtz, and he was, it's my Star Wars geek coming out, he was in the Star Destroyer that in The Empire Strikes Back, when they're attacking the planet Hoth at the beginning, they fire an ion bolt up and it hits a Star Destroyer, and your character was the guy who was piloting that Star Destroyer.
Yippee!
Yeah. You were also...
Wow, you really know your stuff.
Yeah, well, the internet helped. You were also 21B, which is a medical droid.
Yes, a medical droid.
Mm-hmm. And he's, as a kid growing up, he was one of my favorite action figures.
Oh,
was
thank
21B.
you.
And you were also in Star Wars Jedi Knight 2.
Yes.
Which has just gotten a re-release.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did not
they
know
gave
that.
it the whole HD treatment.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great.
So, I mean, people don't realize that Mario's in all these games. Now, I've also heard, thanks to the internet, that once upon a time, you pitched yourself as being the voice of Link.
You know, that's true. About 23 years ago, I said to Mr. Miyamoto, if you ever want a voice for Link, please let me know. I'd love to do something. And he said, thank you very much. We have exactly what we want. And, you know, the great thing is about Nintendo, we have a relationship of trust. And I absolutely believe they know what's right for video games. People often ask me, don't you wish you spoke more as Mario? And I say, no, it's exactly right. Because if I started speaking as Mario, that would change the dynamic of the game, and then it wouldn't be a Mario game. And I think one of the things you talk about Mario before 1985, when that started up with Mario, if you play that game or the very most recent game on a Nintendo Switch, you're going to see, you go, oh yeah, that's a Mario game, even though there was no voice, there was just music, even though it was 8-bit, and today it's three-dimensional and worlds opening up, galaxies opening up, flying by, you're going to recognize that same Mario game. And I think that's a beautiful level of integrity, that if we change things too much, it changes that integrity.
Oh, absolutely. Nintendo used to have something called the Nintendo Seal of Quality.
Yes.
And that's no joke, man. They make good games.
Yes.
And here I am shilling for Nintendo, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
As
Have
a
you
gamer.
played Super Mario Odyssey?
Oh, I've played it. I've beaten it.
Have you really? Good for you. All 999 moons?
Not quite that.
Almost. What about Luigi's Mansion? Have you played that yet?
I have it. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Oh my God. Luigi Mansion 3, number 1. Ho ho.
Oh,
I love it because another piece of that, and I do have to say, I love Nintendo. I think that the technology is always driven by the love of the game. And that's why we had 3 dimensions with Mario 64. That's why the Wii got you off the couch. It's like, well, I want to do, the creative teams. I want to do something different. And like they're having a Switch, right now you go, oh, I can take this with me. I can, and it's a docket. I can take it with me. It's just really great. The technology always being driven by the desire to make the most fun possible.
Well, we never dreamed that we'd be able to take the same games that you played on your TV with you in the car or at the airport or whatever. It's absolutely amazing.
It really is amazing, isn't it? I just love it. And I love the Switch. And somebody told me that you can actually get that here in Fort Hood.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got at the PX, they've got Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
They've got, and you know, it's the new version of the Switch.
Oh, really? Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So it's got a better battery life in it, so it lasts longer when you take it out.
I need that.
And then they have the new Switch Lite, which doesn't actually switch. It's a little smaller than a Switch. It's a little more portable, but it plays the exact same games.
Wow, that is really fantastic. Can I buy something at the exchange?
No,
I cannot.
No, not at all. No.
So I just have to say thank you very much to all the service members that are serving our community and giving so much to us. I have
That's fantastic.
Profound gratitude. Thank you.
And I was wondering, you go to so many places. You've been New York, Tokyo, all these game conventions. Why Fort Hood?
Well, because I was invited, you know. It was such a thrill to me. I'm so grateful for the men and women who really give of themselves, years of their lives and the dedication to the protection of our civil rights and our human rights and who we are as Americans. And I'm just, at the invitation to come at a drop of a hat, I say, you betcha.
All right. Well, fantastic. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be on our podcast and our very first guest. That is just so awesome.
Profound honor. Thank you so much. And thank you very much for playing my games. You're number one. Wahoo!
And he jumped on a green dinosaur and rode off into the sunset of our collective youths.
Uh-oh, I bumped my head.
Keep listening. We'll be back right after the news.
Don't go away. We're going to be right back.
News.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What's it? This is the part of the podcast where we do the news. So.
Oh, okay. So no news this week. Yeah.
But.
No news this week. You said so yourself in the meeting. No news this week.
Yeah. Well.
You want news? You'll get your news starting Thursday, January 16th. That's when we agreed to start doing the news. So don't bring your stanky hat wearing self in here, pointing fingers at me. You want news? Here's some breaking news. Ba-ba-da-ba. January 16th. That's the news.
My hat's not that stanky.
You need to wash that hat.
Or I could just play the flute.
Okay, I think that's enough of that.
Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. Less stank, more flute.
Nature and Lights turns Belton Lake Outdoor Recreation Area into a winter wonderland for kids, and kids at heart. This annual event celebrates its 23rd anniversary this holiday season, and it is open to the public. Visitors can drive through the 800-plus acre park nightly and enjoy 5.5 miles of illuminated displays, many of them computer animated, ranging in size from strands of lights artfully configured into scenes spanning up to 300 feet wide. The Holiday Light Show is set to music on Balora's FM 91.9. Entry is $20 per carload. Larger vehicles will cost more. Call 287-2523 for more information. Let Fort Hood's Belton Lake Outdoor Recreation Area shed some light on your holiday season in nature and lights. Open nightly through January 5th.
Nobody likes needles. The folks at Fort Hood's Robertson Blood Center get it, but giving blood means giving the gift of life. January is National Blood Donor Month. Help celebrate it by giving the folks at Robertson Blood Center a call to schedule yourself to give a gift that could save a life. Write down this number, 285-5808. That's the Robertson Blood Center at 285-5808. Give them a call and give till it hurts. Okay, it doesn't hurt that much, unless you really don't like needles. Then you can look away when they stick you. I actually passed out once while getting blood drawn, but that's because I forgot to eat something that morning and smoked a half pack of cigarettes before walking in. Don't ever do that. But the best part is that when you're done, you get juice and cookies. I really love that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. Anybody that needs to check out video equipment or do an official photo, let's go. Get it on camera.
Better come correct on your photo appointment.
On camera.
Better help yourself when checking out video equipment.
Get it on camera.
Better come correct on your photo photo appointment.
On camera.
Better help yourself when checking out video equipment. Yo, my name is Dave Stokes, the PA video.
Yeah, and for
She
those
hates
at
this
home,
shirt,
here,
by
I'm
the
gonna
way.
yeah, hit it again. Hit it again.
Hit it again. One more time. That's for you, Dawn.
That's a sweater.
It is not. It's
Dave,
a sweatshirt.
it is a sweatshirt. Dave is wearing a singing sweatshirt. It says, "We'll kiss you a merry."
Hiss you.
Okay, I've screwed the thing up. We hiss you a meowy Catmus.
There you go.
His sweatshirt encompasses everything that's wrong with the world in 2019.
Well,
I'll
thank you
tell
very
you
much.
that. I'll tell you, or maybe it's everything right with the world. One of the two, depending on which what angle you're coming from.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got Cats and you got Mr. Hanky.
Howdy ho!
What's
I
your
do.
deal?
I think I muted her.
Oh, did you?
There you go. Try that again. Try that again.
What's your deal?
Oh gosh, I don't know if I have one. Who my mascot is?
I don't know. I don't think my mascot is a piece of poop.
I think it is actually.
But no, I mean, what's your deal for like the holidays?
For the
Christmas?
holidays.
Mhm.
Well, it's the first time I've been back home for about 5 years, so I'm gonna spend
Wow,
it with
welcome.
my family. Thank you. Yes. Yeah.
You've got mail.
Yeah. I was in Asia for a long time. So
Really?
Yeah. Now I want to spend the holidays with my family and close friends.
Oh,
I'm very
that's
excited.
So much more heartwarming than singing cats and poop.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is. Well, you know what? We've got your holiday thing today because we have two very special guests. They're holiday-rific.
Wonderful.
Why don't you folks introduce yourself? Who do we got here?
Well, do we want to have youth before beauty, or how do we want to do that?
Certainly, sir.
Yeah.
So
ahead,
my
James.
name's Jim Ramsey. I'm a family life chaplain here at Fort Hood.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. Does a great job for us. My name is Brian Chepey, and I'm the garrison chaplain, so I have the privilege of being one of those, I don't know, one of those guys with some blonde highlights coming in, I guess, as the years progress.
Oh, sure.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you here.
He's the old guy, but he's still got hair.
That's a blessing, I guess.
So
yeah, my dad always said,
"Uh-oh, here we go.
Hair and brain don't mix."
Hey, I'm there. I am.
There you go.
Hey, we are brothers in baldness.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's
there-
it. I see that power thing going on over
I think
there.
they're coming for us.
So we've transitioned from Super Mario to chaplains. So
okay, are we done here?
Oh, man.
Best segue
Way
ever.
to screw it up.
in the spirit, since we have you here now on the Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast, Christmas time is seen as this great time getting together.
Right.
Oh, I love
Sure.
the snow. I love the commercials.
I do
Yay.
love snow. Snow's
chocolate. But man, is it stressful. Even me picking out Christmas presents. And, my wife, like I said, she's from Japan. Okay. So in Japan for Christmas, as a kid, she got one Christmas present.
Yeah, wow.
Growing up. And then as an adult, after a certain age, she just didn't get anything. Like,
Wow.
People as adults don't necessarily give each other Christmas presents. She asked me, how many people are you buying Christmas presents for this year? And I'm naming them off. And in my head, I'm going, that's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
And that creates stress, for people. The holidays, for as much joy as they bring, the expenditures, the being in close quarters to people maybe you haven't seen in a long time, travel, weather, that can bring a lot of stress. It's a.
Do you think it's the stress itself, and maybe we need like some kind of Dr. Google definition of stress, really, or is it more with expectation management, and when you're in this and you're planning to spend, just to why are we doing that? Is it to earn favor? Is it just we want to show our love this way, and because plus two different cultures between Japan and
That's true.
I mean, how does your wife? Let's just throw it on the table. How does your wife feel loved? Since you mentioned her, and you're buying presents for these folks, and you're trying to understand, and you're feeling stressed out. Now, be it you've made a choice, right? You've
That's
making
true.
these choices. Because, I don't know, so what does your wife, how does she feel loved? What do you do or say that makes her feel loved?
I've really waded into this one, haven't I? I have. How does my wife feel loved? My goodness, I didn't think I was doing soul searching.
If
Get
you
me
want, I
back
could
to
throw you.
Super Mario.
I could throw you a little
red-faced.
Let me throw you a little lifesaver here.
Yeah.
Because I think, we're talking about stress and expectations.
I'm feeling some of that now.
And we're feeling the heat. But
Right.
the reality is there's a lot more in our culture. And I'm glad you mentioned the cultural difference.
That's cool.
There's a lot more in our culture that really piles on the expectations, right? And the consumerism.
Yes.
And you need to buy this, you need to buy that.
Capitalism.
And at the heart of it, it's playing to our desire, though, going back to what we were mentioning earlier, for relationship.
Mhm.
It's really about how can I have the best relationship? Well, if I get her just the right gift, or if I get all these people the right gifts because, hey, this is what we do at the office or whatever.
Right.
We think that that's somehow going to make our relationships better. And reality is some people need some people need less.
That's true. I think, for me, trying to really examine why I buy someone a present or something. For the longest time, I didn't buy people presents. I didn't. I definitely received more than I gave.
Okay.
And now that I am older and have a little bit more money and a little bit more wisdom, maybe, that's not the best way to live your life. And I was, I said my wife's Japanese. I lived in Japan 10 years, so I was away from my family. I didn't see my family for 10 years. Now that I'm back, it's my way of sharing with them.
Okay,
So
yeah,
when I
yeah.
buy a present, I'm not necessarily asking someone, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Give me a list. I'll pick something off of it. I'm thinking, what's something that I can get you that will truly benefit your life and be useful to you, or will enhance your life in some way?
That's a
Be it-
tall order, man.
yeah, being music that you haven't heard that I think is going to bring a new layer to your life, or something where I see that you need this, or maybe you can't afford this, so I can provide this for you. That's where I come from in gift giving, and it seems all great, but year after year that starts to stack up. How can I help you more this year? How can I help you more the next
So
year?
you're trying to one up
Well,
yourself?
what time do you cut it off?
I don't know. I
You
haven't
know?
reached that point yet. When my bank account says stop.
Well, most of us buy beyond our bank accounts.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that's a whole nother podcast.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But sometimes stress can be a good thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, think about the situational awareness for a soldier in the field when there's stress. He or she senses something, so their senses are heightened to deal with the threat. Now, put that same soldier, now we're in the living room and we're discussing how we're going to shop. And, well, will the soldier recognize, well, I only have $1,000 in the bank account, but wife says, well, we've got to, or whoever says, well, I've got to spend, we really need to spend $2,000, so let's just go ahead and get another credit card. So his first stressor that said, hey, danger, warning, we don't have it in the account. But then it gets compacted. So where's the teamwork? Where's the relationship? Where's the trust? And we can only afford this much. So stress at one point is good in all this holiday season, but I could see it that it's also, if it piles on, then it will affect not only you, but it will affect your loved ones.
What you're talking about there, the difference between, they call it eustress, which is the good kind of stress.
Okay.
The kind of stress that we need, like
Sounds
PT.
like a doctor talking over there.
Well,
That's what
I am a doctor, but I'm not one of those guys. But, the eustress is that good stress that makes us stronger, makes us more resilient. PT is a good example.
Right.
When it's good PT, you got good muscular
And for all
stress.
those folks out there who
likes
aren't in the
PT?
military,
Thank you.
PT means exercise.
Yeah, physical
Yes.
training. So, but the bad stress, that's what you're talking about. The distress. That's what happens when perhaps we go beyond our budget, or like the Ramsey family is experiencing. You know,
That would be your family.
That'd be my family,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
We've been experiencing a season of stress.
Wow.
And some of it is eustress and some of it is distress. And we notice, because my wife is a second grade elementary teacher, and my children, I have 2 teenagers and a 8-year-old.
Awesome.
And, you know, there's naturally a certain amount of stress that comes with that. But as the school semester goes on and the requirements and the papers and the tests and exams pile up and all the sports activities and all the things that the school needs and wants, and it just seems like it's just crescendoing as we get closer and closer and closer to the holiday break. You know, and so what we're doing is, you know, then we add the layer of, hey, we're not from here originally. You know, we don't have family in the area. So all our family's out of state. And are we going to go to Missouri? We going to go to Arizona? We going to go to North Carolina for Christmas? And I know a lot of our military families are facing this, especially if they're young.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stress there and expectations on the part of family to, hey, come to our house for Christmas.
Right.
Come to our house.
We haven't seen
You
the
were there-
grandkids
Yeah,
in,
we
in
haven't seen
5
them
years.
forever.
You were in Germany last
And
year.
they're playing the
right?
guilt card, right?
Exactly.
They're playing the guilt card. So for us, the Ramsey family this year, we're staying put. We're not going anywhere.
You're having a staycation.
We're staying in Fortress Home.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
if people want to come and see us, you know, we'll see them on FaceTime or something like that.
Right.
But we're not going to add more stress to our already, I think, pretty close to maxed out.
So that distress for you may be your in-laws or your parents, right?
Right.
Who want to see you.
And that's
And so
stress.
that's
good
For
stress.
them, they're saying, come see
But
us.
it's
They
just
love
too
you.
much for us.
But it's
just too much.
How do you have that dialogue with them?
So everybody's got stress. I think we've covered that. We all do. How can soldiers and civilians and whoever, how do you mitigate that? How do you deal with the stress?
Well, I think a lot of, stress comes from like expectations, right? Like we expect a certain level, like something to happen in a certain way. And when you can't compartmentalize all the stress that's hitting you at once, then that's when you have strife and your relationships can suffer and you suffer and everyone around you does. So I think, at least what I do to help with that is to really just not really lower your expectations, but realistically just be optimistic, but understand the most likely outcome. It kind of goes back to like the soldiers when you go to training and they teach you MRT. I forget what that stands for.
Master Resiliency.
Yeah, Master Resiliency
Training.
Yeah. So it goes back to that they teach all the soldiers on how to lower your stress and your expectations and that's really what I think.
Mm-hmm. Accentuate the positive.
That's right.
Eliminate the negative. Join the U.S. Army. That
Come on.
was
Be
my-
all you can be, baby.
Yeah, be all you can be.
So,
Hey,
but-
we need to bring that back. I'm starting a letter writing campaign.
Oh, that was
I'm
my
starting a
generation back in
signature.
'82
Oh, no,
when I
that's what
first
got me
came in.
in.
That was awesome.
In 1990. So
Oh, that jingle?
Yeah,
That's what
that's
did it
it.
for you?
No, that,
Wow.
Be
that
all you
jingle
can
went
be.
way before that.
Be all you
all
can
that
be.
you can be.
Get
Yeah.
a lease on life.
Hey.
In the Army.
Good morning, First Sergeant. Yeah. So, but that resiliency thing, it doesn't happen overnight. So resiliency is that which we do maybe in our normal everyday lives that build the emotional muscles within us. So, for instance, if you have you're studying for a test. Let's say you're studying for a test, and then you put stress on that and you memorized all the answers and whatever, and you did awesome. But it took time to build that up, that muscle memory, that emotionally sweat, whatever, and you lost sleep. But then the next week, watch this, the next week, the teacher asks you to teach someone who failed that test, who went through the same thing you did, but they didn't pass, but you passed it. So now you could take your experience and maybe how to answer the answers to the question, and then you could share that with somebody else. So I think part of resiliency is you go through something, and because you made it through, and what were the keys that helped you make it through? Maybe it was a friend, or you studied, you learned the answers, so you make it through something, and now when that same trial comes, you're a little bit more able to adjust to, you're going to know what to do to handle that trial. I don't know, James, help me out on that.
You're speaking about going back to relationships and building community. You know, we have to have personal investment with one another. And unfortunately, our culture has been trending toward a lot more fracturing and isolation. And I think, and that's my theory.
But what if I have 200 friends on Facebook?
Oh, look, I've got probably 900.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know, but they're not really friends. They're acquaintances and connections and family members and distant cousins and all this. But the reality is, who do I really rely on? Who really knows me? Who can I call at 2 o'clock in the morning when something bad
Who's
has
been
happened?
through this stuff I'm going through
Who
now.
may understand, who may
I got
be
a sick
able to,
baby.
Yeah,
right?
may be able to reach out and come over, you know, and
I
help
can't
me
make
out.
yeah.
You know, who's going to do that? You know, maybe 5 friends, 10 friends. I mean, you know, I've got other close friends, but they're in 5 different states away, you know? So, you know, who am I going to know here? You know, even our housing designs are different. You know, we have garages now. We don't have the front porch anymore. We don't have on-street parking. Everybody gets in their car, leaves the garage, goes to work, comes back in their garage, gets out of the car. I don't even know my neighbors.
You know what's interesting? I heard of a report that said for millennials, and help me out with this, millennial, that they find one of the things that brings them the most anxiety is when someone knocks on their door or rings the doorbell.
Wow.
Yeah, that is true.
Well, it's totally different now than 20 years ago. You know, company. You know, I think
Have company, physical
company
people
was
come
different.
over.
People could just stop by.
Or Gladys Kravitz.
Now they got to call
knocking
ahead.
on your
Hey,
door and
can I get in your house?
want a cup of
You know?
sugar or something.
You're afraid that somebody's not going to pull a gun on you.
Well, it's because
But
That's Bewitched.
Yeah.
yeah, Gladys.
For, you know, for the millennials out there, Gladys Kravitz.
That's the Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. We have chaplains on talking about the witch sitcom.
Yes, that's right. Bewitched, but don't be the witch.
I can find
right?
God in anything.
There's a difference. So for our single soldiers in the barracks, right? They got a lot of friends on Facebook. They got a lot of that. So how do they deal with PT in the morning and an NCO leading them? I wonder what emotions. I mean, because I was first enlisted in 1982, and it might have been a little different. I don't know what.
I think it's a little bit what I notice, at least from my generation. It's funny because, like you mentioned, the ringing the doorbell.
Mm-hmm.
For my generation, we prefer to text. Right? It's a lot faster. So there's like a running joke that if someone knocks on your door, like if they're coming to get you, like something wrong has happened, instead of just like a regular text.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not sure why. I mean, it is just quicker. I actually prefer to text also, but
No, that's right. Because like I have a really good friend who is a neighbor.
Yeah.
Right, next door neighbor. But how does he approach my house? He sends me a text. It's like, Jim, what's up? Can I come over? Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then we'll meet.
I could see that early warning device kind of thing.
Most folks don't
That's
come up to
good.
my. If somebody's coming to my door, knocking on my door where I live, it's like, okay, who's at my door? Is it another solicitor? You know, we're not gonna. Don't answer that.
Yeah.
You
But what if I need help with fixing my tire? I got a flat tire and I live in housing. Who am I going to text? Who's going to actually show up? Is my NCO, is my first line supervisor? Do they really care about me? You know, does that still happen in the Army? Do our singles?
I think it does.
Do our soldiers feel
That's
like
happened to me actually? That exact scenario.
What happened? What happened?
Well, I was in Japan and my car wouldn't start, and I'd only been there like less than 2 months, I believe. And yeah, I texted my first line, and he came right over and helped me with my car. And I don't know much about. I know how to like inflate my tires and just like the very basics. I didn't know. And he came and he helped me, and he towed my car and he fixed it for me, and I was pretty shocked and And that was really nice because, I was, overseas and by myself and in the barracks. And
so there was still that personal contact. Here it is,
Yes.
that we all need.
Yeah.
So whether my first reach is a text or a phone call or a doorbell, people are people. Why can't it be? Right? Right? That's the reality. Is it still boils down to a great way to mitigate stress is to have a friend, someone that's real that you could touch, right?
Yeah.
And that's tangible, and that can get involved in your mess because he or she is outside of your mess. It can help you out of it. I think that's awesome. So for me, stress is, I don't have to row anymore.
Right.
The king already did it for me. Whoo, I'm going to get in because the water's fine in the middle of the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, just let it go because someone's got me because Brian ain't big enough to do it. That's right. Anyhow, a little man, little boat.
Big podcast.
Great big podcast.
Great big podcast. That's right. Now, with the holidays coming up, if someone wanted to row their boat to one of the holiday services here on post, what do we have coming up?
Yeah, take that away, James.
Well, we got a lot going on. If we just want to backward plan a little bit, we're going to start backwards from Sunday, January 5th, the Epiphany of the Lord Mass for our Catholic folks at 0900 at Spirit of Fort Hood Chapel.
It's 9 a.m. for you, all you civilians out there.
Yeah.
Go back a little bit more. Wednesday, January 1st, Roman Catholic Mass for the Solemnity of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Mother of God Mass. Holy Day of Obligation for our Roman Catholic friends at 0900, 9 o'clock a.m., Spirit of Fort Hood Chapel.
Also 9 o'clock.
Yes.
In the morning.
And then on Tuesday, December 31st, we have a watch night service at 2200 Comanche Chapel.
What is a watch night service?
A watch night service, great question. So on December 31st, that would be New Year's Eve, a group of believers, these are our gospel congregation, our congregants, they love the Lord, but what they're going to do, they're going to pray in the new year. So they'll have a time during their service. It'll take them up through past the midnight hour, but they're going to have different people preaching. They'll have some games, they'll have some fellowship, but they're going to focus on praying for the soldiers, praying for Fort Hood, and praying for God to be with us in the new year. So it's called a watch night. They're watching, they're waiting, they're looking forward to the new year.
Oh, cool.
With prayer and anticipation. So, by the way, anybody's welcome to join in the congregation.
And that was at 10 p.m.
It starts at 2200.
At 10 p.m.
That's 10 p.m. So then let me just take the next two, James. Sunday, December 29th. Sunday, December 29th. The Holy Family of Jesus, Mary and Joseph Roman Catholic Mass at 09 at the Spirit of Fort Hood Chapel. Look at that. Wow. Wednesday, December 25th. So now we're getting closer to Christmas because you started us backwards.
I know.
I don't know why you did that, but that's okay. Wednesday, December 25th, Roman Catholic, Christmas Day Catholic Mass. Because what is December 25th? It's Christmas Day.
It's Christmas.
So that's awesome. So there's a Mass celebration there at 0900. Yeah.
And then
with
on
enthusiasm,
Christmas
James.
Eve, Roman Catholic Nativity Pageant at 1600. Christmas Family Mass at 1700. That's 4 and 5 p.m. Spirit of Fort Hood Chapel. Community, that's for the Catholic folks. And then we also have a Community Christmas Eve candlelight service at 1900 or 7 p.m. at Spirit of Fort Hood Chapel. That one, that's for all Christian believers, right? Anybody want to visit, come out, check us out. And then there's a candlelight service at Comanche Chapel at the same time. So if you want to be part of the gospel service at Comanche Chapel, same time, 1900, 7 p.m., candlelight service.
And then on Wednesday, December 25th, there's the Roman Catholic Christmas Day Catholic Mass, or the Holy Day of Obligation at 9 o'clock at...
That would be the Spirit of Fort Hood Chapel.
Oh, okay.
That's that big
we kind of
white
tricked
building.
you.
It's
We
awesome.
kind of tricked you. You need to go back up to December 22nd.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
We're going backwards.
That's the Great Big Podcast. Anything can happen here.
That's exactly right.
Anything, you never know.
Where are we? How about it? December 20. What's going on? What's going on in December 20?
December 22nd. No, we got to do that.
Do it with gusto.
Okay. It's the Hanukkah party, 1800 at 6 p.m.
Oi.
Listen, that's awesome.
At 19th Street Chapel. And that's a really awesome service.
Chaplain Eckert's good there.
Yeah, he's our chaplain.
He's excited about it. He's our Jewish rabbi.
Chaplain
David Eckert.
He's amazing.
Yeah,
he was
he's
on
good.
the cover of the Sentinel.
He was on the cover of the Sentinel. That's right. With the Capon Ruck March.
Oh, I did that Ruck March.
You did the Ruck March?
I did, yes.
What was your time?
It was 5 hours and 9 minutes.
That is awesome. Did you now since you're a flautist
Yes.
and you play in our band, did you play any flute music while you were marching?
I did not know.
So that's a different kind of march then.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't think I could do 18 miles. She just told you all she Ruck marched. I don't know what Ruck really stands for, but
I think it stands for backpack.
That backpack. She
Yes.
backpacked for 18 miles.
0.6.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice.
that 0.6 was significant.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I was like crazy.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so any others on
Two
there?
more. Let me get them.
Oh, you got them?
Oh, if that's okay.
Well, go ahead. Take
December 22nd, fourth Sunday of Advent, Roman Catholic Mass at 0900, 9 o'clock, Spirit of Fort Hood Chapel. And then, last but certainly not least, for our pagan worshipers out there, we do have a winter solstice ritual at 2000, followed by a Yule vigil running through sunrise at 0800 at Camp Finlayson.
Wow. Camp Finlayson. Wow.
Finlayson.
Yeah, that's over like on West Fort Hood.
I don't know.
West Fort Hood is like a totally another world over there. Have you been to West Fort Hood?
I have.
What'd you think about West Fort Hood?
It's like a totally other world out there.
It does. I mean that's where we say goodbye, right? We welcome people.
Yep.
We send soldiers off. West Fort Hood. It's like, I think it mixes with civilian air traffic out there too. There's one runway. We commonly share that. I think it's probably some kind of tax kind of thing.
Oh, it's a magical place.
It is. West Fort Hood. Come join them.
I heard they got a really great pool, though, out there.
They just say that.
Well, that's what my wife
They
said.
will-
She takes the kids out there all the time.
Oh, yeah, we got a great pool. Oh, can I see it? No.
Yeah. Great. So lot of worship opportunities going on. So, just come to the big white chapel building. Miss Teresa Paris, she's our awesome. She oversees as the secretary behind the scenes. She knows when all these times are happening. But just drop in and see us. It'd be great to see you there, and we could talk about what else God is doing here on Fort Hood regarding religious worship services.
Fantastic. Well, being that this is the last and the first podcast before the holidays, would you mind playing us out with a little Christmas music?
Yes, please.
So this will be the other 3 chords in G Wes.
All right.
Better than the Cats.
But I was talking to our awesome flautist over here just a moments ago. We talked about minor chords in songs and how minors kind of really affect us and move us differently, emotional, and then how you throw in a major chord in there with it is just a unique thing. So this is, I don't know if it, there's a lot of great Christmas songs out there. I think there really are.
Hundreds.
So let me just try a little bit of this. There we go. That makes it better. Take off my glasses so I can see. And that's something else.
God works in mysterious ways.
That's what I'm Oh come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel that mourns in lonely exile here, until the Son of God appears. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. O come, thou Key of David, come, and open wide our heavenly home. Make safe the way that leads on high, and close the path to misery. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
Merry Christmas. It's Lieutenant Colonel Regina Turf, deployed to Al Udeid Air Base, Qatar, wanting to wish my daughter and granddaughter in Temple, Texas a Merry Christmas. Wish I could be there to see you guys, but I hope you have happy holidays.
Hi, this is Freddie Fears. Just want to say Merry Christmas to my family back in Houston, Texas, to all my aunts, my mother-in-law, my nieces, nephews. I love everybody, and hopefully I'll see y'all soon.
Midnight. The perfect time for a sneaky snack while everyone's asleep. This and a little bit of that.
Say, Phil.
Ah! Gee, God, you frightened me. How did you get in my house?
Silly, Phil. It's me.
Elf? Elf on our shelf?
That's right, Phil. I see everything, including you not practicing good cybersecurity. So I got all your passwords and stole your identity, and now this is my house, Phil. My house. You go sit on a shelf, Phil.
This holiday season, it's more important than ever to practice good cybersecurity. After all, you never know who's watching.
And we're back. We're back. So, how do you think that went? You are totally, I think I have your mic down.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, how do you think that went?
I loved it. I love the music. You know me.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been all downhill since then with my... All right, I got them worked out. So you like music?
Yes.
That's what you got out of that. We did 45 minutes of talking, and the guy played the guitar a couple times. I like music.
Oh, well, I was expecting, Rudolph, but we got
I was
90s grunge. It was awesome.
He's a grungy preacher.
Yeah. Down to earth.
He was very cool.
Yeah, I liked
it. Was totally nice.
Yeah, I was kind of playing Superman's Dead in my head. It was
I wanted to ask, you know any Nirvana? Can you
Yeah.
have some Come As You Are?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or the classic Freebird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not grunge.
But,
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, holiday, man. I mean, where was it?
Yes.
It's on your chest.
There it is.
And we lost our remaining 6 listeners.
Sorry about that.
So, speaking of stuff that is unexpected, we have dug into our great big podcast vaults way back long ago. A lot of people might not know this, but Fort Hood had a podcast back in the 40s.
Get out.
Yeah, and they had some pretty cool radio dramas, and I dug one out for our modern listeners.
Oh, my goodness.
And so here it is. We present to you AC Delta. Fort Hood's a great place, sure, but sometimes things go sideways. That's where I come in.
Sergeant AC Delta, Enforced Condition Delta, brought to you by Fort Hood Safety, reminds you that being safe is better than being dead. Today's episode, the case of the missing CAC.
It was early on Fort Hood, the kind of cool morning where dew settles nice and heavy on the Death Dealer statue that welcomes everyone to 3 Corps. The kind of morning that says, have another cup of coffee, I won't tell. I had just settled in, poring over my morning email collection when Sergeant AC Delta, Office of Problem Solving, U.S. Army Branch. How can I help you?
Is this Sergeant AC Delta?
The same. I don't believe I caught your name.
Oh, it's Wilkins. PFC Tanya Wilkins, Sergeant.
All right, PFC Wilkins, what's on your mind? And speak up. My hearing's been a little challenged since the war.
I said this is PFC Tanya Wilkins.
And I said challenged, not deaf. Now, what's the trouble?
Well, it's a little embarrassing, Sergeant, but I've lost my CAC.
Lost your common access card, your government-issued military ID that grants you access to a plethora of services on post.
Not to mention actually getting me on post, Sergeant.
Yes, that too. I can see how this would be a problem. Why, if the wrong person got their hands on your CAC, I shudder to think what they could do. Where are you now, PFC?
I'm in my car parked at the visitor center.
And where was the last place you remember handling your CAC?
I'm not sure. At my desk, maybe?
Here's what I'm going to need you to do, Wilkins. Call someone from your unit. Have them escort you inside. Meanwhile, I've got a hunch that I think will pay dividends. Don't you worry, PFC Wilkins. Sergeant A.C. Delta in the Office of Problem Solving, U.S. Army Branch, is on the case. There was one place on Fort Hood that I was certain would have all my CAC and CAC-related answers. I had more than a hunch, actually. What I had was a pocket full of certainty. I made a beeline to
ID card office. Do you have a number?
Sergeant A.C. Delta, Office of Problem Solving, U.S. Army Branch. I've got some questions.
Yeah, but do you have a number?
A number?
Nobody gets in without a number.
Well, look, I only have a couple...
Nobody gets in without a number.
Look, I get it. You're only following the rules, so hook me up. Where can a guy get a number around here?
Just get in the line at the front of the door and have a nice day.
Thanks, ma'am. They say time is linear. I beg to disagree. Lines attract time. It slows down there, goes in loops. Sometimes in a line, down is up and up is last Thursday. You never can know. How long had I been in this line? Minutes seem like days. Hours move like they're on profile. Maybe I had always been in this line. Maybe Sergeant A.C. Delta, the Office of Problem Solving, maybe that was the dream and here was reality. Hard, cold reality. Shuffling forward inches at a time, endlessly standing, endlessly waiting, endlessly...
Name, please.
What?
Sergeant, I need your name, please.
I'm sorry. My hearing's been a little bit challenged since the war.
I said I need your name, please.
I heard you the first time. Sergeant A.C. Delta, Office of Problem Solving, U.S. Army Branch.
And how can I assist you today?
I've got questions.
About an ID card?
ID card, yeah. You see
okay,
that...
your number is 432.
No, look...
Just take your number and have a seat in the lobby. Someone will be with you shortly. And have a nice day.
But I need to see someone now.
Then you should have made an appointment in advance. By making an online appointment with your ID card office, you significantly reduce the time spent waiting in lines. And have a nice day.
I slink out of the room and move towards the waiting area filled with soldiers and civilians mindlessly glued to their phones. Me? I grab a Fort Hood Sentinel. You know, the newspaper that's been standing watch over Fort Hood since 1942. That's where I turn to get my news. Sure, all the stories are about what happened last week, but still, you want I should trust what I read on the internet? I don't think so. As far as I'm concerned, if it ain't in print, then suddenly a vibrating in my pants pulls me into the here and now.
Sergeant Delta?
The same. What's your story, Wilkins? Get to work okay?
I did, Sergeant. And when I got to my computer, guess what I found?
Let me guess. Your CAC.
That's right. It was in my computer right where I left it. Guess I forgot to grab my CAC before I left for the day.
Well, don't feel too bad, Private. It's a common problem. We all forget to grab our CACs from time to time. But now you see the troubles that occur when you take your mind off your CAC. It's so easy to run to the bathroom or quickly dash somewhere, leaving your government-issued military ID card in your computer. You know everyone in your office who's going to take it. Well, I'll tell you who. Some no-goodnik waiting to make trouble. That's who. Some wino looking to score cheap booze at the Class 6. Some spy aiming to gain access to sensitive subjects. And all roads lead through your sweet CAC. Protecting it? Well, it's an integral part of OPSEC. The government cares about your CAC, Wilkins. It has great interest in it. The American people are depending on your CAC.
Operational security. Yes, Sergeant. Sorry for the trouble. I'll make sure my ID is on me when I'm not at my computer. From now on, I'll hold my CAC like my life depends on it.
That's the way it's supposed to be, Wilkins. It's up to every one of us to hold each other accountable for the whereabouts of our government-issued ID cards and look out for those dumb enough to leave them behind. I'm glad yours is safe. It looks like another problem is solved. Well, as long as you don't CAC it up again.
Sergeant?
Now serving number 432 at window number 4.
Now, if you'll excuse me, Wilkins, I've got a date with destiny.
Another problem solved, thanks to AC Delta and the Office of Problem Solving, U.S. Army Branch. Tune in again next time when Sergeant Delta discovers that death doesn't knock, it just comes on in. All this and more brought to you on your Fort Hood podcasting dial.
Fort Hood's great big podcast.
Coming on strong on a Monday. I feel so low, won't be long till one day.
All right, for the throwback.
All right. Yeah, that was something, wasn't it?
It was something.
All right.
Are we,
I guess that's the end of the show because I got nothing.
You got
I got
nothing?
nothing. My tank is empty.
Oh, my.
I am done. So that wraps up the very first podcast.
Wait.
The zero.
Can we figure it out? Episode 0?
Let's take a vote. There's
Pilot.
1.
There's 3 of us.
There's 3 of us.
Okay.
So once again, to recap, it has been suggested that this is an episode 0, but it's an episode. So
I would say 1, honestly.
One?
Or
Vote for
pilot.
1?
Or pilot.
Isn't pilot a 1?
It is, yes.
They don't number the pilot.
Yeah, they don't
They
number
just
the
call
pilot.
it
That's
a
their
pilot.
problem.
Yeah.
That's their problem.
I would say 1.
So Brandon's got a 1.
Yeah.
Dave, what do
I'm
you
sticking with 0.
Oh.
All right. Oh my gosh.
You
always
have.
Oh, you're the
tiebreaker. Come on.
This is too much pressure. Where are those chaplains?
You just got your
Stress.
holiday
Stress is
stress.
too much.
That's true. That's true. Somebody
Finally
throw
did
me-
him in.
Yeah.
I gotta go with 1,
Oh,
but with maybe
loser.
like an asterisk, an asterisk on it because it did steroids.
What am I, Roger Maris?
No, that was a
Asterisk.
asterisk.
Get it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You didn't
Roger
get it.
I didn't get it.
That's
no.
okay.
Do you know who
He
Roger
does.
Maris is?
No, I don't.
Can you guess who Roger Maris might be?
An actor.
Nope.
That
No.
was a guess.
Baseball player.
Baseball. Oh.
Baseball player.
Babe Ruth had hit 60 home runs in 154 games in 1927.
I would never
Roger
have guessed
Maris hit 61, but it took him 162 games to do it.
that. Okay, so statistically.
Statistically,
Who was-
they stuck an asterisk on it and said he didn't really break the record. But he did.
On the next Fort Hood Great Big Podcast, baseball trivia.
More baseball trivia.
That's right.
All new to me.
All right. Well, we're done today, and I speak professionally. Bleh.
You do?
Well,
That's a first.
that's not after today. I don't.
We actually do pay you for this.
Yeah. Well, you did. So that wraps us up. That's it. We're done. We will be back again on January 9th.
January 9th.
And until then, I guess, Brianna, do you have a holiday wish, Christmas wish for everyone out there?
A Christmas wish. Oh, I would love everyone to be safe for the holidays and to relax and get away a little bit from that stress that we're all feeling and just to count your blessings.
Right.
Oh, that's so sweet. And, party like a rock star.
I guess my Christmas wish would be peace on earth, goodwill to men. And
Very original.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was just off the top of my head.
Yeah, you should copyright that.
Wait till you hear what I can do when I apply myself.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yes.
Right. And we are
in
done. Yep, that's it.
Ta-da.
Yay.
Now you can stop recording.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.